Some people say Antifa is just an idea. Some people say Antifa is a myth. Mainstream media, they collude with big tech to bury the truth about Antifa. But ignoring the rise of the black flags in America, that's a grave mistake. So who is Antifa? Where do they come from? How are they funded? And most people don't ask these questions. I don't have to ask it. I've lived it. And I wrote the book on it. Let's go. Antifa aren't Democrats. They're not Republicans. They're anarcho-communists who only want one thing: the overthrow of the US system by any means necessary. The original founder of Antifa was actually a German, a Soviet agent named Ernst Thälmann in Weimar, Germany. Thälmann was the leader of the German Communist Party, the founder of the Red Front, and in 1932, he created Antifascista Action. Under the two-flag emblem, the first Antifa targeted the government of their time, the Weimar Republic, which, as we all know, ultimately ended with the rise of Adolf Hitler and the National Socialists. Thanks, Ernst. Communist China in the 1960s saw a new form of revolution, a student movement called the Hongwei Bing, the Red Guards. They took to the streets to remake society, and they called it social justice. Chairman Mao called the Red Guards from all across China to overthrow traditional Chinese culture, to go after the teachers, the business owners, even their own parents. As a result, somewhere between 5 and 10 million Chinese citizens were murdered to solidify the rule of the CCP, all in the name of revolution. In the 1970s in West Germany, the notorious Baader-Meinhof gang was another extension of anarcho-socialism that appeared. They were also known as the Red Army faction. Now, this was a group of radical extremists who conducted a series of terrorist attacks funded by the USSR. This wreaked havoc on the entire region for years. Before turning to a life of terrorism, Ulrich Meinhof was a left-wing journalist. Funny how that works. During the Syrian civil war, some Antifa militants even traveled to the Middle East and trained and fought with Kurdish communists on the battlefield in what was known as the Rojava Revolution. And then they came back to America with what they learned. You won't see this on CNN. And now, Antifa is right here in America. Armed Antifa actually tried to create their own country within the city of Seattle, Washington, called the Chaz. And instead of shutting them down, local police were ordered to abandon their precinct. The result? Absolute mayhem. But it wasn't until shots were fired, women assaulted, homeless people murdering each other, and teens were shot dead in the streets that the city finally intervened and shut it down. I know because I was there. I've been inside the black box. I was standing next to Raz Simone when he locked and loaded in Chaz. I came face to face with Antifa leaders who wanted to kill me in Lincoln Park of Washington, D.C. I know firsthand Antifa is very real, and they've been around for a very long time. The first step to defeating these violent anarchists is to actually admit they exist. Joe Biden, if you think Antifa is just an idea, read the new book. I'd be happy to deliver you a copy once you're done reading Hunters. We have the receipts. They're all right here. And if you think a violent cultural revolution can never happen again, you haven't been paying attention.